is to be believed. The last update was December 29th or 28th, I don't know which. Somewhere around those areas, I'm pretty sure. But it came out today because yeah. The fourth update came out today, so let's get into it. Rendezvous. Interesting. My memory's a bit shaky on what happened last time, so, yeah. It has been 4 fucking months after all. The cold, gentle moonlight illuminates my face as I attempt to read the hastily scrawled note in front of me. After midnight, beach, alone. Despite probably being the least important thing I'd gleaned from it, the first thing I noticed was how tiny Blizzard's handwriting was. His handwriting was particularly girlish, for lack of a better term. Pass under another lone streetlight as I neatly fold the note and place it back in my pocket. Hey, what's that? I jump as the cat's voice pulled my thoughts. I crumpled the note and shoved it back in my pocket with as much haste as I can afford. Why? He chuckles. You were staring at something, weren't you? Something important, no doubt, considering how tense you were looking at it. Put on a fake smile. Oh, just some trash in my pocket. Cocks an eyebrow. Just trash? Yeah, Mama wrote me a grocery list last week and I held on to it, I guess. Uh-huh. He returns in full force. Must be an intense grocery list. Beat of sweat rolls down my forehead as I try to come up with some panic excuse when suddenly it's in Spanish. My forehead. Spanish is really rusty. The moment is high practice, you know. This is finger on his chin. Is that so? Squints his eyes, his cheeky grin widening as he gets closer to me. Well, I think that's pretty stupid. I'm trying to lean back on the wall, but if I got in closer to it, we'd become merged into a single being. It makes me think of back when I was a kid. Mom and I flew out of the country for the first time, and all in Hong Kong. Brother, some had died, I don't remember. Didn't care. Something about her face. Something about face. While I was there, I met my grandmother the first time. Takes a merciful step back, giving me a bit of room to breathe as he elaborates, completely unprompted. That one was absolutely insufferable, barely spoke English, most of the time waggling her finger at me. Mom obviously hated her too. Nearly as soon as we arrived, they had an argument and she took off, leaving me with her. She didn't say anything before she left, I was just sort of stranded. Pauses for a moment. Fuck that bitch. Anyways, my grandmother decided that she was a primary caretaker now and put me right in her Cantonese regiment. I, of course, had zero interest in learning a useless language. Stare at him. Surely it wouldn't have been useless. I mean, if your family speaks it. Like I said, useless. Frown. Okay. Shrug his shoulders, blowing out a small sigh as he does. Sit me down in one of those rooms before I could practice the alphabet. That shit was miserable. Hated just about every second of it. Just trails off, and after about 40 seconds of silence, I chime back in. So, what did you do? Snaps back, returning from his short trip down memory lane. Nothing. I blink. Nothing? Yeah. Just sort of stuck there. I'd obey if I wanted to keep getting fed and whatever. Wanted to eat, I'd have to ask for it in her stupid language. Well, that's about 40 hours in that room before I cracked. So determined, too, I convinced myself that if I dropped the room, that awful woman's head would roll. After a few days, I began to lose track of time. For my brother, before I could interject. Eventually, Mom came back to pick me up. I'm pretty sure that bitch wanted to keep me there for more than just the summer, but Mom said no. You got into a huge argument. Mom won out in that, of course. I'm here now, aren't I? On my arms. That was the end of it. There's a little more distance he continues to remember. She tried to convince me to stay her, said it was my choice. Little Samuel, well, you wouldn't miss your sweet grandmother if you left her alone, wouldn't you? She said. Trademark smirk returned to his face in full force. I responded, I can't understand you, you stupid bitch. He laughs, seeming completely out of the loop. What does that mean? Opens my eyes and stares me down, a slight smile drawing his face. Don't worry about it, detective. It's not relevant to the case, I promise. He stepped closer to me. You know, haven't told that story in a long time. Got this thing about you that I really like. Braced myself, of course. I forgot this fucking asshole was like this. It's been 4 months since this game was updated. Christ. Braced myself as he takes another step, inching yet closer to my face. You're kind of a duller, but when you're trying your best to be deceitful, you've got this genuine quality to you. You got such a pretty face. Fucking hell. This bitch. This final step forward is most brazen yet, and I feel his wet breath on my nose. Fucking hell. This is straight up fucking what? Nah, Main sound, try to keep an expression neutral as he reaches a wayward hand out toward me. Takes him some willpower not to flinch as his finger. Ugh. Are you not used to getting compliments? Pulls away revealing a single tear now stuck to his finger. Guys typically don't cry when someone says something nice to them. More surprised than the cat, I reach up my own face and feel that familiar wetness. What the? Chuckles striking again. Just surprised as me. My eyes causing more tears to slide down my cheeks. I didn't realize, no. Shake my head. It's nervous, sure. I think I'm gonna go take a walk. You have plans? Blowing more tears streaming down my face as I do. It's already after midnight. Squint. I don't know what you're... Well, you don't want me to come with you? Sorry, I'm gonna have to pass. Moonlight escape sounds romantic and all, but I have something to take care of. Okay. Only answer he just falls back into his bed in response. Sorry, I must enjoy your company. Something just come first. I sigh. Well, if you insist. I'll be back in a little while. He limply waves him to pass his bed. Christ, I really don't like that dude. Even now, as the events unfold my memories, everything feels off. Sam is... strange. It's hard to get to read anything he does. He's just between being odd and genuine, absolutely full of shit. No shit. Raises my free hand to my cheek again, and sure enough, another tear. How unbelievably frustrating. Can we get back to the fucking mystery now, for fuck's sake? Can we get to the good shit that this VN's actually got my attention for? Feels the gratification as I sit at my feet, have left the pavement and hit digging into the sand at the beach. It's a little embarrassing, but I've been in such a rush to escape the hotel room, I forgot how I wish it was. Well, wow, that's a fucking mistake. Fuck the beach. Being with the beach fucking sucks. Fucking hate the beach. Never going there ever again. Fuck that shit. But, God. Wasn't really used to walking around barefoot, but whatever. I'll learn. Is it even a skill worth learning? Besides, the last time I was here, Sam and I took off our shoes anyway. Just have to be careful walking on the way back. I did pass by some class, and otherwise this little town was surprisingly litter-free. I have to be careful not to leave any bloody footprints tonight. Good evening. I'm not usually one to talk to the moon, but I'm a drifter tonight, too. Some part of me deep down feels right doing it. Get a hold of yourself, detective. Nothing good will come out of chatting up the moon, for fuck's sake. The fuck are you going on about, dude? Cool even air, breeze. Including breeze sweeps over the beach, strong enough to gently lurch my fur, but not quite enough to blow the sand I kick up as I walk. I've always been afraid of traveling, of growing up. Fucking hell. More characterization. When is this Trevor dude getting here so we can get on with the fucking mystery? Mom was protective. She wanted to keep me safe, even if it meant missing out on some things that most other kids did. Never went to camp. I had a curfew, and she made sure she knew where I was when I went out. Wow, so she was a helicopter parent. Fucking those those fuck that shit. Well, as planning this trip, I felt like shit lying to Mama. She really seemed proud of her taking an opportunity, but I could tell she was worried to death about me. Why she hasn't tried to call me yet, I couldn't tell you. Hope she's okay. Maybe I'll send her a message in the morning. I'm sorry if I'm boring you. You probably heard millions of stories more interesting than mine, considering how long you've been around. There are a lot of colorful people in this world of yours, don't you think? Speaking of, there, silhouette in the pale moonlight, stood the final witness. Feels heartbeat from here. Beautiful chaotic rhythm man who's been here all along. Just a short page from the dark stood a tall silhouette with rounded spikes resting atop his head in a neat row. A lot closer to him, but not when it startled the iguana. I cautiously called to him in a small voice. Trevor, it's me, JC. Stand in place for waiting for a response never comes. Trevor? Caught again, taking a step closer to him. Still nothing. Not sure what else I could say, but I reach out to him and touch his shoulder. Stiff. Cold. Trevor? Walking in front of him, trying to get a look at his face. Appears to be frozen, his wide green eyes reflecting the moon right back at me. He on the beach for something, anything that caused him freeze up like this when I remember. The doc that I... My thoughts are interrupted by a quiet whimper from the man just in front of me. I do not remember this voice. I don't remember what voice I gave him. Start flirting the moon back, a single tear rolls down from it. Was he... swears as he hunches over. Snitis coughs violently. Trevor? Mumbled quietly as he breathed heavily, a thin strand of drool leaking from the base of his lips. A little glint of light shines off his tallest head spine as he slowly turns his head to face me. You... Doubles are still out of breath. You... Shakes his head. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He got up straight, opening his face with his forearm as he does. Shake my head, stepping towards him. Please, it's okay. There's no need to apologize. Earlier I saw... Cough. I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I could see something else going on. You wanted to talk to me with me alone. Placed a hand on his chest, resting my gaze as gently as I can onto the iguana. Thank you for trusting me, Trevor. An uneasy laugh escapes the iguana's throat. Please, shakes his head. What matters that you came? A genuine smile spreads across his face, and I feel the gratitude situation slowly ease off of my heart. I think this is the first genuine smile I've seen since I've arrived here. Trevor reached my hand out and placed it on his shoulder. He flinches at first, but after he feels how soft my touch eases up. Is everything okay? His pale green eyes stare back into mine for a moment before he closes them and slowly shakes his head. No, it isn't. Continues, eyes still closed. Ever since that, nothing's been the same. Gently rub his shoulder. That? Do you mean Ollie's disappearance? He nods his head, his brow wrinkling as he does. Yeah. I want to help. With my right arm placed on his other shoulder. That's the reason I'm here. I want to help things get back to normal. Frowns opened his eyes back up. You said as much back at my house, but why? What do you have to gain from all this? I blink. Well, shrug my shoulders. I heard about the case online and looked into it. Nothing added up for me. Next to no news coverage, no statements from the family, the police investigation formally ended only 2 days after it's reported missing. Nothing added up. I frown. And that didn't feel fair. After I had arrived here, all my suspicions just felt even more justified. Nothing about this story adds up. Every time I learn something new about Oliver, 10 more questions pop up. Shudder as a particularly chilly breeze runs through my fur. If everything Sam's told me is true, Oliver is a social outcast and has been for his entire life, but that doesn't mean he deserves to just be forgotten about. I mean, for fuck's sake, he could still be out there somewhere. He's curving into a smile. I'm gonna try and save him, Trevor, just like you do. So I sent back towards the sand. I saw yesterday when he came up. There were genuine emotions. You care about him. You and I may be the last two people on this earth that do. Back at me, tears welled up in his eyes. I... Gulps. I followed him. There was something about him. He shakes his head. I felt something I never felt before when I saw him. I don't know how to describe it. I genuinely can. And as his voice trails off, did you love him? Closes his eyes, tears rolling down his cheeks. I don't think so. It's more like I'm just not good at processing those sorts of feelings. Shakes his head again, this time a bit more somber. I never shared a single word with him. I used to watch him. Robert twitches as he speaks. In school, I'd always stand away from him in the hallway. We never had any classes together despite being in the same grade. I wish we did. I heard this light chuckle. Maybe it's for the best we didn't. I already had a hard time focusing in school. Feeling his discomfort again, I give in to his desires and let go of his shoulders. I'll have to remember all this and to write down in my notebook later. It was strange. When I saw him, it felt like something inside of me was waking up. That I could remember. Trails off there, but I fold my arm and get my eyes locked onto his. Remember? What did you remember? Shakes his head. It doesn't make any sense, but I would sometimes remember things that never happened. I have memories of spending time with him. Bad memories. Turns away from me, instead looking out towards the bay. My dad, he knew who Ollie was. Folded my arms, not particularly happy with the sudden topic change, but making a mental note to ask about these memories again later. How so? The iguana lets out a long, raspy sigh. He was... Chokes on his words, breathing out a sharp and immediate puff of air. My dad... Coil in shock as his hands suddenly grasp onto his face and he's to shake violently. No. Digs into his fingers deeper into his scales. He moans under his breath. Not now. Shaking slows down as the flow of time returns to normal and the intensity of the night air finally registers in my mind. First instant, to rush forward and if he wanted me to speak again, voice trembling as he does. My dad, he hated all. He sighs again, visibly shaken as he does. He would complain about things I couldn't understand. He always complained ever since Ollie's family moved here. He'd get home from work and his voice cut off at his throat. Fucking God. Shut up! He used to hole up in his office and scream. I was afraid. Once they started following Ollie and my dad... You... What have you? Why have you? Why can I smell it on you too? My son, my own son! Christ, we're getting dark. Oh boy, this is going places that I don't like. I mean, I was, and after that, he started, he words catch again, but this time the sounds was followed by a loud creak. his body, then doubles over, but without a thought. My feet move when I rush forward to catch him. Impact is heavy, his thoroughly abused body crumpling under its own weight. Using all the strength I can muster, I hold him there as tight as I can. There's a long period of silence as neither of us dare speak. The only sound I can hear over the waves is the pumping of my heart in my ears, adjusting to beat in tune with the man I was holding. There's a beautiful simplicity in our embrace, one that could potentially heal. I feel the warmth of his tears soaking into my shirt, solemn reminder of my role in all this. Christ. And after the moon-soaked melancholy fully sets in, I return his motion, wrap my arms around his body. His arms tremble, grasping whatever support I can offer. Another much softer grip on my shoulder, though. I turn my head to look, but the pale glow of the moonlight highlights it for what may be the first time, revealing tender grip of the lonely heart. There, torn from the heavens, the brilliant soul of another makes its solemn plea made to me. Another warm tear rolls down my cheek, mouth left agape by the chilling beauty of the fractured voice. Gave it an answer the only way my petrified body could. Wished that I could still save him. Wished it with all of my heart. What the fuck? I remain still as I feel an unexpected cool sensation cascade down my back. Cold, wet, my head. Okay. Oh, focus. Focus, detective. Trevor. What is going on? I can't hear you anymore. Hello? I can feel him. He's close. Oliver? So close. Oliver, are you there? What is... Guide me. Please. Show me once again. Ah, there you are. What the... Oh, okay, we're back here. Right. My eyes are open again. Greeted by the bright white fur of a face that remains familiar. Oliver, did you pass out? I didn't. She looks down at me, confused but relieved. I wanted to make sure your eyes were open, but you didn't look like you were all there. She shakes her head before taking a seat next to me. Any idea why you're so tired? My eyelids began to sink as I sigh. Not really. There's an audible pop as my bottom jaw loosens. Just tired. We sit in silence for a moment before she breaks it with a sigh. Not sure what I was expecting, honestly. I have known you for most of my life, and yet... She pauses, considering her words. Maybe this is a little too forward, but seeing you again has got me remembering a lot. You've always been distant. You've never opened up without me telling you to. Even if it was for your own good, it never felt right to pry. Back then... My eyes remain fixed in a nearby trash can as she speaks. Back then I was obsessed with the future. Mostly my future, but I cared a lot about yours too. You had a spark. Something was different about you, I could tell. But as we got older, that light vanished. I closed my eyes. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought this up now of all times. You're probably going through a lot too, and I tend to overanalyze things. Damn. You think? Shake my head. No, it's okay. I probably deserve it. There's a relative quiet for a moment for her voice picked back up. You know, I was thinking earlier if I had gotten you up earlier, we could have stopped by Sirens, my treat. My brain stutters and I blink. Didn't we go there? Before we came here? I turn my head, reconnecting our gazes. She's a deep look of confusion in her eyes. The cafe? No. I woke you up at home, we drove out here to the bus station. We didn't have time to go to the cafe. Don's bus was going to arrive around 1. Try to recall the events of this morning, but there's a deep wriggling sensation inside my brain, memories being whisked and beaten together. I went out to the cafe to meet you, but you were running late. Eh? She cuts me off, audibly confused. What are you talking about? Are you trying to gaslight me or something? She frowns. Because honestly, you're kind of terrible at it. Rub my temples, closing my eyes and trying my hardest to remember. I waited outside with... The names deep within my clouded mind were fragments of what they used to be. Just on the tip of my tongue, and yet... Wasn't Sam here? Bear looks back at me, puzzled. Sam? Sam who? I rub my forehead. Samuel. Sam, the cat. Her eyes widen. Samuel Wong? Tone her voice raises significantly as that name passes her lips. From high school? Why the hell would I ever hang out with that creep? She folds her arms, squinting at me in disgust. I don't invite him to my grandfather's service. Shake my head, trying to remember. You didn't. He stayed the night with me last night. Invited him, so I was... Broken memories continue to leaking out of my mouth. He tried to kiss me, but I have a towel, and... Bear's brow folds inward, her lips pursed. Do you have some kind of trauma you're re-experiencing right now? Are you okay? I can't... I'm beset by another spell of dizziness, this time more intense than the last. More vague, faceless people pass us as we sit in silence, neither of us even making eye contact. Don... Ollie? Main sounder's voice trails off again. Trevor. No. I've never known anyone named Trevor. Why do I... Ollie, please, for the love of God, can you tell me what's going on with you? Something... I shake my head. No, I'm sorry. Little must to shake away the lingering doubt in my mind. I'm just really confused right now. Barry sitting beside me sighs, and I feel some tension melt off of her. That's what I was talking about. Every time I try to reach out to you, both of you, you'd always swap me away. Hold my head in my hand and scoot away. Just, just give me a minute. She only sighs again, folding her arms and pointing her nose at the sky. Sit like that for a while, the ambience of the buses coming and going with the only other constant. It's then that I feel an old ache start to tear its way through my veins again. My neck cracks loudly with my head, and haze suddenly aware of the arrival. He's here. Show what you find on my head, my body jumps up to alert. Is it time? Tail follows the trend, stiffening between my legs. I know what's coming. Yeah, I feel it too. My arm raises my long, bony index finger, uncurling as it does. It's all hollow. No other arm is raised in sync with mine. No other fingers mark the destination. I am alone. The bear sitting beside me watches, her eyes cold and distant. We watch the door of that blue bus opens. More faceless people of various shapes and sizes exit, nobody worth remembering. Then the flow of nobody stops altogether. My heart sinks into my stomach. I've been here before. I know exactly how this goes, and yet silence. The whole bus station goes silent for an entire moment. There, amidst the silence, another figure stands in the doorway. No, not you. Anyone but you. Well, then. I swear, every single time. What is this? What the fuck is that? Whatever. Not important. Anyway, this every single time I fucking play this, my, my interest is immediately reignited, and I can't even really describe why, and it's just, well, I can. It's because the mystery of what's going on is so fucking cool, investing, and also I like the fact that the creator is doing things that I haven't seen any other VN maker do ever. Really does make me say this is potential to become a classic. I mean, the original Beyond the Harbor, I didn't play it, but I watched a couple videos on it, and it seemed interesting. And then I saw this, I'm like, oh, right, like all those months ago. I don't remember when this came out, when the started coming out. I mean, but yeah, I'm fucking invested. All over again. Thanks a lot, Harmonious. Fucking hell. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. It's rather short, but that's to be expected with this game, honestly. That's to be expected with this game. It's always like fucking 4 to 5 month long waits for like 30 to 40 minute updates, and it's. I get why with all the effects that he does and all that, but still, it makes me. It's not fun, the waiting. I'll just say that. Anyway, see you next time.